just graduated our class of students that went all the way through with laptops. And we've started to ask the question, okay, what now? What do we do with technology in the classroom? What's the next expression of that going to look like? And so online learning just seemed like a natural extension of all the work we've done for the last 7 or 8 years. A little over a year ago, Jim Scott got an invitation to participate in this new venture, to be a member of a group of like-minded independent schools and to develop Online Academy. The more I got involved in it, and I think the more teachers became involved, it just seemed like a real exciting opportunity to not only extend technology in the classroom, but really to make us think about teaching and learning. Eventually, we recruited the first cohort, and we convinced Darcy to lead the cohort, which she did a fabulous job with that.
I was asked to be in charge of the Punahou online group for a year to try to talk through all the different issues, and there were many. Everything from administrative to getting the word out to students, but mostly we focused on what makes a good online class.
The thing we thought that our classes really do well at Punahou and schools like Punahou is that we have students and teachers who have strong working relationships. And so we sort of wondered, what is that going to look like in an online environment? Can it happen? Can it be as effective? Can learning be as meaningful and as deep?
One of the benefits of this whole adventure is it's gotten us into some really deep, insightful conversations about the nature of teaching and learning and how that changes with a different kind of learning environment and how we can take advantage of some of those differences. We've had students come in and talk to us. So in this case, the students were teaching us what it's like to be a student in an online course.
So I did the online classes and I decided to do Spanish 5, and my teacher is Emily McCarran. I would definitely recommend it in that the class caters to your schedule. The learning style was a little different. I mean, you don't have a teacher right in front of you. You kind of have to, I guess, teach yourself in a sense. You learn a lot despite the fact that you're not in the classroom. I thought Spanish 5 would be really easy, which is what I heard from the other classes, but halfway through I went, oh my God, there's actually a lot of work here, and I was improving significantly, and I thought that was really cool.
Taking an online course is an experience unlike anything I've ever had before because it was mostly self-directed learning. I thought that urban studies looked incredibly interesting because I've always loved cities and I love to travel and I love learning about other places. I took it the fall of my senior year, and so I could work it into my class schedule and my schedule with college applications and all of that stuff. However, the drawback of having that independence was that sometimes it was hard for me to get all of my work done and understand what exactly needed to be done when.
Almost every week I see some article on online education. We got involved in this about a year ago, and since then it's become the topic of education. A lot of it is driven by universities. A lot of it is driven by public schools looking for ways to save money. And a lot of it is driven by commercial enterprises looking to sell their product. And very little of it is driven by excellence in teaching. And I think that's what we're doing, and some of our colleagues elsewhere are saying, yes, online education, we want to make sure we do it well. Lots of people, including faculty here, had the obvious fear that, is this going to dilute or diminish the teacher-student relationship?
I love teaching and I love being around teenagers, and this was sort of a leap of faith for me to actually teach a class online where I wouldn't actually see the kids face to face. In trying to really attend to knowing them as individuals, I met with each one for half hour every week on Skype. So I actually spent half an hour with each child every week, and I did that on purpose because I felt like it was harder to try to figure out how to establish relationships online, and I was really worried about that. But you can establish really powerful relationships with students in an online environment, and we weren't sure that was true at the beginning of the year.
The teachers are awesome, so I wouldn't let that be a deterrent, worrying about teachers being kind of weird or, I don't know, not there, not being able to give you the attention, because my teacher was always able to give me the attention I needed.
We want to have a global perspective, so every course that is being taught will try to leverage the fact that people are in different locations and that we want to bring to the table something that is unique about our area of the world.
What I think is so great for our kids is if you're taking this course, you're in class with kids from all over the place. And given the isolation of Hawaii and how little our kids have exposure to people from anywhere other than these islands, I don't think you can put a price on that.
For each of the kids in the class, we all had the capacity to Skype with each other. My partners for the first week, one was living in Jordan, one was in Portland, Oregon, one was in Detroit, Michigan, and one was in New York City. And talking about their homes and their families and their cities, it allowed me to make connections with all of these people and also connect it back to the subject material.
From the very beginning, what did really kind of excite me was the potential for this to push teachers just to think about good teaching. And actually all of our early results, the 6 people who have participated in this have all reported, as have teachers in other schools, that it has. It's really forced them to think in a very strategic, intentional way about where they want to go in their classroom, what is it they want to accomplish, how do they know they've accomplished that. And by working on their online course, that has seeped into their traditional classes, and that's exactly the goal we had.
Basically every utterance that you make in an online environment, you have to understand why you're doing that, plan for that. You have to set up the whole lesson and almost predict kids' moves as they work through it in a way that you don't have to do as well in a face-to-face class. It's made me more organized in how I deliver instruction in my face-to-face classes and how I structure the courses.
Our stated goal is to become better at teaching online, and I think we are. It's also really helped to affirm for us the value of what we do face-to-face. What we've come to appreciate is what is the unique benefit of actually being taught by a teacher in a face-to-face classroom. As teachers, we should all have answers to that, because that's what gives us our value as an institution.
It's made me realize the value in that face-to-face time when you have all the kids in the classroom is really that they can all be working with each other in that moment. Because in this asynchronous environment, that's the hardest thing to get kids to do, is work together with each other, because they're having to, deal with each other's different schedules and find time that they can all be online together and work on something. And so now I see that hour when I have all my kids in one room as like this precious thing, and I would never think of wasting that just by having me stand up and talk to them about something. If I have something I have to say to them that doesn't involve them interacting with me or with each other, I can create that outside of class, and that can be their homework. But the real gift of that hour of class is them being together, working on something, creating something, trying to understand something together. And I didn't realize how precious that was till I didn't have it.
Anybody you hear talk about 21st century skills, anybody who talks about the ability to be creative and collaborative is talking about the ability to share and work together in an online environment. Nobody here and nobody in the schools that we've been collaborating with believe that online learning is going to substantially replace the classroom experience. It's just going to be one more piece of school.
We've created an environment at Punahou that is risk-taking. If you are game to try something, then you can see the power of it. But if you're just conjecturing what it can do, you can't really tell without just getting in there and trying it. Teaching and learning is not going to really change. We're just going to find new tools to maybe make it more diverse so that all students have a better opportunity to learn. And some students will be better in this environment, or they will learn their gifts more in this environment, and other students may be in another environment. It's just great that we have more tools to present our students to develop what their gifts are.